DaveCast? Say thumbs up. Stay awesome. DaveCast. Yeah. Happy birthday, America!
Happy birthday, America.
Stay awesome! Where are we?
Jenkinson.
What are we doing?
Shopping.
Let's thrift, baby. Wednesday? There you go. We got one. Anybody else? One sister here. Oh, we got two sisters. There you go. All right, ladies. Well, we have two ladies here. You ready, Miss Susan? All right. Hey everybody, David here, and welcome to the DaveCast. Well, today I'm thinking about difference makers, men and women in this world who make life better for other people. And there's some really inspiring stories out there, aren't there? So what I'd like to do today is just share one of them with you. This is a story about a young lady named Eliana, and she works with a ministry that is known as The Well. It's located over in Summerton, South Carolina, which is Clarendon County. But I recently went over there and met Eliana and learned some really interesting things about how she and her team are making a difference in this world. Check it out. I think you'll be inspired just like I was. Would you like to share with us a little bit about The Well, what's going on here, and how's God using this ministry?
Sure. So we are a nonprofit community outreach. We do have our 501c3. So any donations, clothing, food, monetary are all tax deductible. And we are a new outreach. We actually formed last July and moved into our building in September. We applied for our tax exempt status in July, and they told us it would take 6 months to get looked at, and then we were approved in 7 days.
Wow.
So
Quickly,
yep. God had plans,
Yeah.
and He has kept us running ever since.
That's awesome.
Yep, we got our first family in August, was the kinship family. And kinship is when children are removed from a home, and instead of going into the foster system, they are placed with a relative or friend of the family.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we work a lot with those. We have a library here that anybody, their first visit or even after they come, we offer Bibles for all ages, devotionals for all ages, and then just fun books for kids. We have a free boutique. So what we try to do is when foster kids, kinship kids, anybody who's just having a hard time they feel like the control has been taken from them. So
Yeah.
we give them a chance to come in and, it's great if somebody gives you a trash bag full of clothes, but you actually going in and being able to pick out the clothes and pick out things that you like and in your style, especially
Yeah.
for a teenager going through a hard time, it's really just putting the ball back in their court. So that's something we offer. We have a food pantry. Our food pantry is specifically designed for those who are facing a temporary hardship. Maybe it is a kinship family who now you are grandparents and you're on a fixed income and you have extra mouths to feed, or maybe you've lost your job unexpectedly and you weren't quite sure how we're going to make it through the next month, or until you get rehired. Different things like that. It's not for anybody who what we call pantry hopping. I don't really like that term, but it's reality. It's for people who just need it for a short time to help them get over a hump.
Right.
We work specifically with domestic violence victims, helping them maybe put them up in a hotel temporarily, getting them to a shelter, buying them a bus ticket to, escape their situation, whatever the case is, reaching out to different attorneys who maybe can help them legally from a standpoint if there's children involved, anything along those lines. We've worked as a liaison with Clarendon County Sheriff's Department. There was a shooting here in town a few months ago, and when they left, they didn't have any clothes on because it happened in the middle of the night, so they were in pajamas. So yep. So their liaison was able to call us and we were able to get them clothes, just different things like that. We're really here to be a community support. And we have a ton of different programs, a Sleep Safe program, just however we can fit those individual needs. We know that all hardships are cookie cutters.
Right.
So we're definitely not a cookie cutter ministry.
No, you're not. Now, you educated me a few minutes ago on Sleep Safe.
Yes.
And do you mind sharing with them? Because I'm sure some of these people know, but some of them probably don't. So what is a Sleep Safe ministry?
So it started off with offering pack and plays or cribs, bassinets, whatever we had available to maybe single mothers with young infants. That way maybe DSS pays them a visit and everything's safe except for there's no way for the baby to sleep. So we provide them a safe place for that infant to sleep, sleep safe. Because we have a huge number of infant deaths in South Carolina. We actually have 6 a month that under the age of 1 that died due to a sleep-related injury.
So that's, for those who don't know, that's like if a child's sleeping with a parent and the parent accidentally, the child gets suffocated.
Or something like that.
Yeah.
Anything
so
along
6
those lines.
Of, how many?
6 a month in South Carolina.
Wow. So there's a need for the Sleep Safe.
So, and that has actually progressed. We, as we started building relationships and getting the homes, we've noticed that there are also a lot of kids who don't have beds. So we have 4 on a waiting list right now and 10 since December beds, twin beds or full-size beds that we've taken and put in homes. We actually had a 16-year-old who had never slept in a bed a day in her life.
Isn't that something?
Crazy.
Things that a lot of us take for granted.
Oh, yeah. So, I definitely was very convicted over that one.
Oh, yeah. Come in here. They get books. They can get clothes. You even mentioned prom dresses. I think you've helped a couple of young ladies with prom dresses.
We did prom dresses last year. We have suits for anybody who needs something for church, or maybe you have a job interview. We've worked with Salt Life occasionally. They've sent us somebody, which is a church in Sumter, who needed something for, an interview. We even have towels, linens, kitchen supplies, anything like that. So ladies, if you need a new vacuum, this is your chance to donate your old vacuum or any of your old kitchen appliances and let your husband update you. And then you're actually helping for a cause.
That's right. Everybody wins.
Everybody wins.
That's right. That's right. So basically, share your story. What was it that got you in this? I mean, because there's a lot of things you could be doing with your time. Yeah. A lot of things you could do. Why this? Why are you helping hurting people?
So a few years ago, she's 10 now, my middle child, Alexis, she became sick. She was 7 at the time. And it was very sudden. It happened over the course of summer where she lost some weight. And then by August, her GI tract completely shut down. And we went through a course of a year and a half of visiting different specialists in and out the hospital for weeks at a time, NG tube after NG tubes, test after test. And we could not figure out what was going on with her. And she just slowly declined in just all different aspects.
Yeah.
And we finally got sent to a doctor. We had a doctor that told us we needed a doctor smarter than him.
Right.
So we went to a doctor in Atlanta, and they didn't accept insurance. So we already had all these medical bills. I was already off work several times and different things like that. And now we are going to Atlanta to a specialist who didn't accept insurance.
Wow.
They ended up diagnosing her a month later with Lyme disease and 13 co-infections. So her immune system was completely just, it wasn't
Shot.
there.
Yeah.
And we had no idea how we were going to pay for her treatment, for anything really. We were going to have to go back and forth every other week to Atlanta for a few months, and we had no plan. But God had a plan.
Yeah.
So our church and her school, our church, Pinewood Baptist, and her school, Clarendon Hall, actually put on fundraisers for her. They did 2 fundraisers, and the amount it raised helped us not only get out of medical debt, it paid for her infusions, paid for us to go back and forth every other week for several months to Atlanta.
Yeah.
So last April of last year, she got her first infusion, her first treatment infusion. And she is doing much better.
So she's improving.
She's improved. She played softball last year. She's a completely different child.
Oh, that's great.
But a few months after she started getting better, God just started hammering me. He said, "Okay, it's your turn. And
you got your help. Now you're going to give them
help." He's
help.
Like, there's other people who need help and they don't have any support in your community, and you're going to be that person.
Yeah.
And I told God he was crazy. I was like, not me. I am not cut out for this.
Yeah.
But here we are a year later. And I've learned that I'm just going to let God lead, and I will just sit in the passenger seat and enjoy the ride.
There you go. There you go. Well, that is an awesome story. I think it's cool. I think about that passage where it talks about how God gives us comfort so that we can give others comfort. And you're living that out.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so the well.
The well.
This comes from the Gospels. Will you share with them a little bit about where that came from and what does that story mean to you?
Yeah,
and how did that inspire
absolutely.
this?
So Well Watered Ministries is named after John 4, the woman at the well. It's a very popular story. And what we've tried to do is mirror this ministry the same way that God ministered to that Samaritan woman. When he met her, he was a man, he was a Jew, she was a woman, and she was Samaritan, which were big social no-nos. They did not interact. She had a pretty heavy past. She was also in not the greatest situation. But when God met her, he met her exactly where she was in life, despite her past, despite social norms, despite what she was going through. And when he left her, he left her better than how he found her. Yeah. And that is what we aim to do, is we want to meet these people despite social norms, despite what their past is, despite where they are in life, and leave them. It's not, when he met her, he helped her physically and then also spiritually. And that's what we want to do with these people.
Yeah. I love that phrase. So he left her better than he found her, and you're doing the same thing.
That's our
you're
goal.
Leaving people. And I love what you said too about he met the physical needs and the spiritual, and it sounds like y'all are definitely doing both. And you're starting out with the physical, and so do you see it open up doors sometimes to talk about the spiritual?
Yes. So our motto is to love like Jesus, right? Yeah. That is what our goal is. I can tell somebody about Jesus all day long, but unless they see Jesus in me acting it out, it's not going to mean anything to them.
Right.
So that's what I love, is when we start meeting these people where they are. Why do you do this? That's my favorite question, because then I get to sit down with them. They've opened the door for this conversation, and I get to tell them how great God is.
Right. That is awesome. So what would you say, how has God blessed you by doing this? I mean, this is it's a massive undertaking, and you're putting a lot of time into this, but what you're doing is so special. And how has God blessed you through this experience?
Well, I have definitely made new relationships that before this I never would have. But we have one story really sticks out with me, is we have these 2 little boys who were in a domestic violence situation. We had to actually help their mom move her into a hotel. And when they first moved into a hotel, one of our volunteers gave these boys these 2 teddy bears, just basic little teddy
Yeah,
bears. And
yeah.
she told them when she gave them these teddy bears that, you know what, your situation does not define you.
Wow.
And right now, why you don't feel like maybe Jesus is looking out for you, he is. And he has a plan for you and that he loves you.
Right.
Well, those words really sat with those little boys because a few months later, this family's still living in a hotel, still, you know, making huge life changes. She got some tax money back and she said, you know what? I'm going to give you boys, I'm going to give you both $50 for taxes. We can go Chuck E. Cheese. We can go out to eat, whatever you want to do. You know, I want to give you guys, you know,
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
And instead of buying a video game or going to McDonald's or anything else that you would think a 8 and 10-year-old would do, they wanted to go buy stuffed animals. So their mom called me and she said, I have a huge favor.
Yeah.
She said, the boys, I gave them some money and they want you to go buy stuffed animals with them so that way you can give it to other kids.
Oh, man.
That way, these other kids who are going through hard times,
Yeah.
they will know that Jesus loves them and that their circumstance doesn't define them.
So they took their money to buy stuffed animals to give to other kids.
To give to other kids. And they're still living in a hotel.
Oh, my word.
Yep.
Now, that'll bless your soul.
That'll bless, yeah. So
that is awesome. And I bet you've seen all kinds of things
all
like
kinds
that.
of things.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. How can we help? You know, I live in Clarendon County, and that's where we are. Are there some things that people out there can do to support the well and what you're trying to do?
Absolutely. So, of course, any form of monetary donation is fantastic. That'll help go to different needs that we have. Again, we're not a cookie cutter ministry, so, you know, different needs arise. Or we are always taking donations for twin mattresses, anything like that. Gently used clothes, especially for kids, shoes, brand new socks, underwear, anything along those lines. If it's something that you would need, shampoo, soap, toothbrushes, laundry detergent, anything that you would use, our people can use it as well.
Right. So you're going to accept all kinds of things.
All kinds of things. Yep.
With the biggest need, right? And maybe, I don't know, maybe you can't define what the biggest need is, but I know you've mentioned beds before this. So you really need some beds.
We do need beds. We're also in the process of starting a mobile closet. So our goal is to raise funds for an enclosed trailer. Clarendon County is huge. It is ginormous. And with our poverty rate being 26.5%, which is really up there.
Over a quarter.
A lot of people that we're dealing with don't have a means to come into Summerton to get things that way they need. So we would love to have an enclosed trailer that we can pack full and go into Turbyville and Greeleyville and all these other small areas so we truly can meet these people exactly where they are.
Right. So you want to get out there. People who want to
there.
contact you at the well.
Yep.
Can we share, where is the well?
Yep. So we are at 107 Main Street in Summerton. We also have a Facebook page, Well Watered Ministries. It has all our contact information on there. So that way you can reach if there are certain needs. Sometimes we'll post the needs directly on there.
Right. Different
things like that. If there's any type of community events, we have an event in the fall in Wassoo Park in Summerton. We also have one that we're working with Seacoast Church and Manning in August. Just different events like that. We're playing bingo Monday with the senior citizens at the senior center here in Summerton. So we try to do a lot of stuff, again, to be a well-rounded community outreach. We want to hit all aspects.
Right. A well-rounded well.
There you go.
There you go. And you're right next door to Summerton Pharmacy.
Right next door to Summerton Drugs.
Maybe that'll ring a bell. Thank you for what you're doing. This is just awesome to see. I think it's great. So, and I know God will continue to use you greatly. So, yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
Yep.
God bless you, my friend.
Thanks.
Man, what an inspiration. You talk about somebody that's making a difference. That team over at the well, they really are, aren't they? Think about this world that we live in. There are a lot of people that don't have what they need. There are people that need help with food and clothing and shelter, a place to lay their head at night. There are people that need a friend who will listen to them. There are people that need a helping hand to give them a little boost. There are people that need to hear the gospel of Jesus Christ and the awesome grace that He offers. There are a lot of hurting people out there. And you and I have this awesome opportunity every day that we wake up to be a difference maker. We may not be able to go out and start what they're doing over in Summerton, but every one of us with our own skills and own personality can make a difference in this world in our own way. So what about you? What about me? What do you say that you and I use our time on this earth to make a difference, to bless people that are going through a difficult time? Let's do what she said. Let's love people like Jesus does. And let's leave them better than we found them. Man, seeing that really makes me want to step it up and make a difference in this world. I'm trying in my own way. That's why I create content. That's why I speak and I write and I make videos. That's one of the ways in which I'm trying to make a difference in this world is through content. And maybe you have your own way. But whatever your way is, let's all make sure, you, me, and everybody else, that we use our time on this earth to make a difference and to make life better for other people. And let's do it for the glory of Jesus and in the name of Jesus with a heart of love for Jesus. That's the best way to minister and to make a difference in this world. Let's go out there and let's make a difference. Keep looking up, keep pushing forward, and stay awesome.